Hi everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Manchester United versus Manchester City derby preview. And I tell you what, Manchester derby where the stakes could not be higher. This is huge. Is it Pep versus Ronaldo? Is it Pep versus Ollie? Could Pep save Ollie's job? We'll be talking about how United could line up. We've got a back five system as well to show you. We'll be talking about the strengths and weaknesses of Manchester City. We'll also be talking about a lot of other things, as well as breaking news. Lingard, Sancho, both left out of the England squad. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer destroying more careers because of his favouritism towards players that aren't good enough, in my opinion. We'll talk about all that, but it's a preview, and you know what that means. It's a preview, but you know what that means. It means I'm not in the right area I need to be. It's a preview. That means that we are sponsored, as per usual on the preview, by today's sponsor, Ultimate Fan Fantasy League. Ultimate Fan is a fantasy football with a twist. You can be playing it this weekend. Imagine fantasy football combined with super cool pack openings. The game is super simple to play. All you've got to do is be over 18 and download the app totally free using the link in the description. Follow the sign-up system and then you'll be able to start opening packs and filling in your team for the coming weekend. There's also Ultimate Fan Plus, where you can buy extra packs if you want to. This features gold and silver packs where you can receive extra cards and improve your team, as well as exclusive content and much more. But the great thing is, each week there are prizes available for the teams that perform the best. And this week's prize pool is a cool, massive £8,500. This week I've done some team moving around myself to try and maximise the points I can get tactically. First out is Paul Pogba for obvious reasons, he's suspended, and I'm replacing him with Ward-Prowse as I fancy Southampton to beat Villa this weekend, who have been dreadful. I've also taken out Mane, which is a bit of a risk, as you can see he's been scoring good points. But I've just got a feeling Conte coming into Spurs, Harry Kane is going to get on the score sheet against Everton this week. As always, if you want to check out my team, we've posted a pic on the United Stand Twitter page. And if you head over there at United Stand MUFC, you can drop your screenshots of your teams in the comments and get involved in the conversation. As I say, it's free to play, over 18, £8,500 in the cash prize pool. Bit of fun. If you like that sort of fantasy sort of weekends, a bit of fun there. If you want to take part in this awesome week's game, then hit the link in the description and you can start playing Ultimate Fan today. Thanks again to Ultimate Fan for sponsoring the show. I'm back on the screen, and I'm not mean. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good today. I'm looking forward to this match. But yeah, it's a good game to play. Check it out. Over 18, free to play. Links in the chat. And good luck if you're going to play that. Right. Let's talk about this game, Manchester City against Manchester United. Or Manchester United against Manchester City, because I actually tweeted this morning. I'm confident going into this game. I'm not an idiot. I'm not saying we're going to win. You're not going to get that prediction. In fact, if you want the prediction, I'm going to go for a draw. But I am confident that we can get something out of this. But I'll hold my hands up and say it's not because of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's not because of his coaches. It's because of the crowd and the fact that it's a derby. A derby's a great leveller, would be in the Bible of football. It's a great leveller, a derby, and everybody knows that. And we've seen it with Manchester United in the past. Happy Diwali, Mark, love from India. Big shout out for Diwali. I mean, it's right up there as one of my favourite things I don't celebrate, if that makes sense. The festival, I nearly said the Stadium of Light. The Festival of Light. I grew up in sort of just on the edge of Leicestershire, so there's a very big Indian community in Leicester. So Diwali was something I was always aware of when I was growing up. So if you're celebrating it, enjoy it. Gary Taylor, thanks for the super chat there. But the reality is that I am really looking forward to this game. But I remember Man City when they were crap. I remember a game in the late 80s where Manchester City beat us. I think it was at Main Road, and I think they beat us like 5-1 or something like that. I was a young lad. They're, you would never expect that. And they've beaten us on numerous occasions, Man City, when they were crap as well, or they've pushed us tight in games. A derby very rarely ends up being a domination. It can be, and it's happened in the past. But look, Man City, for me, you look at Manchester City, we'll go through their strengths in a minute. It's crazy we can go points on joint points with them, says Seb, if we win. Exactly. And I think that to me is where it encapsulates this game. I mean, there's two scenarios here. For me, it's Pep against Ronaldo. I don't think we can win this game without Ronaldo having a good game. I think we've become that team. It's not Solskjaer versus Pep. I don't think we are Solskjaer anymore. I think we're Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he's running the dressing room. And I think he is running us on the pitch. I think Solskjaer has just become... And I know these clips of him when Varane went down and he's talking to the Maguire and Shaw? Should we go to a back four and Ronaldo? And look, I haven't really got a problem with that because I think that he is not a great coach, and I think he is a coach that sort of. I think when Ollie leaves, whenever that is, it will be exposed just how favourites it was. You know, I do think he really is liked by the players because he basically uses them to pick the team and help him coach. And people will go, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. It's like, look, last week he said he stole the formation from Conte. Look, I hear things, and look at Ollie. Why are the players still with Ollie? That's the thing I would say. Why are the players still with Ollie, but they weren't with Mourinho, and they're in exactly the same position that Mourinho was in 3 years ago? Because Mourinho would never consult the players. We used to hear things like Mourinho had 3 or 4 players that he really liked, and the rest of them he kept at arm's length because he was the manager. Even players that he picked every game, he'd keep them at arm's length because he was the manager. That's, I think, why the players turned on Mourinho, because there wasn't really that good interaction between the two. Ollie's completely the other way. He will sit and have a chat with Luke Shaw and Maguire about what sort of formation to play at the back, whether they should play a 4 or 5 and things like that. He will talk to Ronaldo and Bruno and Rashford about how they're going to line up in the front. There's nothing wrong with that. There's been some very successful managers that do that, but I think that's why the players are with him. But I don't think that this is about Ollie versus Pep. I think it's Ronaldo versus Pep. I think Ronaldo is the player that can win us this game. And people will say, well, stop disrespecting De Gea and Bruno and other players. Of course, he can't win it on his own. But I think the players are playing for Ronaldo more than they're playing for Ollie. And the players will deny that. But I think that that's what's happening. I mean, you take Ronaldo's goals away in the last bloody couple of weeks, where we wouldn't even have Ollie in charge. So, and also, I don't really want to make it about Ollie anyway, because I do think that if Ronaldo has a good game, we'll probably win. And if he doesn't have a good game, we'll probably lose. I think it comes down to that, as simple as. So we'll see how it goes. But Pep has the power to save Ollie. And what that means is, I don't think that Pep will on purpose lose this game. But Ollie has beaten Pep in scenarios like this before. We've been into these games at the Etihad and at Old Trafford, and people have gone, you've got no chance. You're going to get smashed up, bro. And what happens is we get a result. Now, I'm very aware of what happened against Liverpool. They took the foot off the gas at 5-0 and just let us off for the last 25 minutes. But with this game, yeah, we can get smashed up. Of course we can. But we've also beaten Pep. Ollie's done quite well against Pep. And Pep can't afford to lose this game, because if he does, he'll be 8 points off Chelsea. We'll be 8 points off Chelsea if we win this game, won't we? Or is it 7? I can't remember. So we can win this game. And there's a bit of pressure on City as well, because Pep hasn't always done well against Ollie. So Pep will be trying to win this game. But if he doesn't win this game, and I'd say a draw falls into the same category as a win, it will be enough for Ollie. If Ollie wins or draws this game, you can forget Ollie out talk for a very long time. If he loses this game, obviously that will rear its head again. So Pep has in many ways, it's a great game for Ollie, because I think if he was away to Palace, that's the sort of game you probably don't want at the moment. At home to City, you know, the odds are in our favour that these games tend to be quite tight, 1 goal in it, and when it's 1 goal in it, United tend to do quite well. Martial needs some game time this weekend, as he could bond well with Ronaldo up front against City. Well, I want to talk about City's form, but let's talk about how we might line up, because there is 2 formations I'm going to show you here. Where am I? Get me on the bloody screen. There we are. Hello everybody. Let me move myself over there a little bit. So we're on the screen there. Right, so I just want to go through the formations. Now, I personally think we should play a back 4. Do you think Ollie will play a back 5? Perfect timing, Dara. Thank you very much for the super chat. So I want to really interact with you, as we always do, but I want to know how you would play in this sort of game. And Vandy Candy says, facts, you cannot prepare for Ollie. Well, I think that's a great point from our moderator, Vandy. You can't prepare for Ollie, but you can prepare for Ollie. But you don't know whether he's going to play a 4 or a 5. That's why you can't prepare. But what we do know is Man City will have over 60% possession. Man City will have more shots on goal. If that doesn't happen, I'll be stunned. That is something you can guarantee. They're going to have more shots on goal and they're going to have more possession, because that's just the way it will be. United will look to counter. They'll look to sit in. Now, I don't disagree with that, but the reason I would go with the back 4, and Curtis says we should go with a 9-0-1, just put Ronaldo up front on his own. The reason I go with the back 4 is that we've got no Varane, and Lindelof is going to be forced to play in this game when he probably could do with a rest. So that, for me, you know, do you want Lindelof, Bailly and Maguire in a back 5, or would you just rather not risk Lindelof anyway and go with a back 4? I would go with a back 4, which is a back 6 anyway. Going with a back 5 and McFred, may as well go with the back four because McTominay and Fred are going to sit in anyway. But if you go with the back four, you've got more options on the break. You can have Rashford off the right, Sancho off the left. Sancho off the right, Rashford off the left, Ronaldo through the middle, and Bruno's got 3 options. If you go with the back four, when we look to break, Bruno's going to really just be trying to hit Ronaldo or Rashford. I can't see Cavani playing in this game because I think we're going to need some pace on the break. I really think Rashford needs to start, even though he's not in good form. Because that pace on the break against City, whether it's been... And look, this is a bit of genius for you. When have we caused City problems in the past? Dan James, Marcus Rashford, they don't like pace on the break. And that is why Rashford's got to play in this game. So I think that I would go with the back four. I don't see a big difference between... And I'll show you on the screen, actually. If we go with the back five, you're always going to have McFred there anyway. You're always going to have a back five, like I said, anyway. I mean, look, if Lindelof's not fit, you could play Luke Shaw and Tellez. Luke Shaw could be left-sided centre-back. We could do that. It's done well in the past. But Sancho not in the England squad. Well done, Ollie. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, Aidan. But look, our opportunities on the break ain't great. That's why I don't like the back five, because McTominay and Fred will definitely play. Back five, you've really only got 2 options on the break with Bruno in behind. If we play the back four, we've got 3 options in behind with Bruno, obviously the string puller on that. So I would go with the back four. Do I think he'll go with the back four? I think he'll go with the back five, to be honest with you. And I think we will be parking the bus a lot. And I think Ronaldo is going to have a very frustrating afternoon. Because the only way we're going to beat Man City, logically, is on the break or set pieces. I can't see us camping on the edge of the City box for very long. We have done it in the past. I remember us playing at the Etihad and playing really well and beating them. I think we beat them 2-0. Under Ollie, and we played really well and we ran the midfield. I think McTominay and Fred had a really good game that day. But what he can't do and won't do is try and attack them like he did Liverpool. So I expect us to give up a lot of possession, and on the break is going to be very important. If we're playing on the break, you've got to get your quickest player on the team. And I know he's not playing well, but you know, you need that pace. You do, and obviously they've got Kyle Walker as well, so that will be very interesting. I want to just talk about Man City as well. The way Man City are going to line up. Actually, let's just do this Sancho thing. So, this is breaking news. Jadon Sancho, Jesse Lingard, Mason Greenwood not called up for England. Well, Mason Greenwood's not getting called up anyway. There's some weird agreement between Southgate and Ollie in England and United there that I don't really understand. So, Mason Greenwood's not getting called up, which I think is bad for Greenwood, because you can say, well, that's good for Greenwood because he's staying back at United. I think the problem for Greenwood is he's not being developed by United. So actually, he's missed out on 6 weeks of going away from Manchester United to train with England and probably get a different level of coaching. So I actually like to see Greenwood get called up for England, but that's not happening. Sancho and Lingard have been part of the England squad for the last 8 months, really. I know Lingard didn't go to the Euros, but Sancho did. They're now both not in the England squad. Martial's probably not going to be in the French squad, and he's been in the squad. Donny van der Beek was always in the international squad for the Netherlands. He's not anymore. Tellez used to be in the Brazilian squad. This is a coaching setup that is destroying careers. It's the bottom line. With favouritism, we are destroying careers. Sancho is no longer an international. Lingard is no longer an international. We're spending £74 million on a player that doesn't even get in the England squad. This is what Ollie's doing to players. And, you know, you can like Ollie, you can back Ollie. I don't really care. I don't really care if somebody's Ollie in, by the way. I don't know why this gets levelled at us. If you're Ollie in, great. There's probably people who are watching this show who are Ollie in. Welcome. You're very welcome on the show. It's all about opinion. But I have this statement and I'm going to say it, and I believe it 100%. Solskjaer is destroying careers. He is. Like Tellez, Van der Beek, now Sancho, Lingard. Why was Lingard allowed to stay at this football club? I said it in the summer. Lingard, for his own good, should have got out in the summer, and he's obviously bought the lie, and now he's not in the England squad, and he loves being in the England squad. He's been playing for England in games. You know what? I'll be bloody furious if I was Jesse Lingard. I'd be absolutely furious, actually, because you know what? This is the crappiest international break ever. I think we're playing San Marino and is it Latvia or something like that? So against San Marino, he ain't going to be picking Mount and everyone like that. That's a game Lingard could play in, and he has been playing in the crap games. He's not even in the bloody squad. Same for Sancho. He'd be bloody furious. And Southgate's right not to pick them because they're not getting minutes. They're not playing for Manchester United, so why would they get picked for England? But tell you what, I'm bloody furious if I'm Jesse Lingard. West Ham wanted him Something was said to him, I'll stay, you'll get your chance. Can't even get on the bloody pitch. Now he's out the England squad. If he was at West Ham are in the top 4. If he was at West Ham, he'd be playing first team football in a top 4 side in Europe and in the England squad. Career messed up under this coaching setup. Jadon Sancho, England regular, Champions League regular, starter for Dortmund, not in the England squad, not in the United team, career messed up. Donny van der Beek, Champions League semi-finalist, Ajax first teamer, Dutch first teamer, comes to Manchester United, not in the team, not in the squad, not in the international squad. Career's being ruined. But the scary thing is, Van der Beek, Sancho, Lingard, they've had a chat with the manager and they're telling them one thing and then they're not delivering. So I'd be bloody furious, I would. Steve Locke, this has got a game to be for Matic, surely. And internet is a bit slow, but wanted to say those protesters at Old Trafford are getting more time on the pitch than Donny's the same. Your internet's a bit slow. It's about 4 months too slow, mate. That joke's from May. Drop Maguire, start Bay. Mike Ronaldo, captain. Drop Pogba, start Donny until Donny plays. Well, Gary, Pogba won't play. He's suspended, so Pogba is irrelevant. He can't play. And Harry Maguire won't get dropped. I don't even. In a game of this magnitude, do you drop your captain? I would do it. But the problem is, you've got no Varane. Lindelof's injured. You can't even drop Harry Maguire in this game. We haven't got the players to play. I'll be sick if Bay gets dropped for a crocked Lindelof and terrible Maguire, says Guido. I think if Lindelof plays, we'll play a back 5, and I do think we will play a back 5. But I obviously would go with a back 4. But yeah, it is infuriating what's happened with Lingard and Sancho, and I feel for Lingard more than Sancho, which is weird because I think Sancho's got a bigger future at Manchester United than Lingard. But I think Lingard's been sold a lie. I never understood why he didn't go to West Ham in the summer. They wanted him and he had a great time there. And obviously he's a Manchester United lad. He wants to play for United, but he's obviously been told he's going to get a chance. And I could have told him he was never going to get a chance because, to be fair, Lingard shouldn't be a starter for United, should he? He's behind Rashford, he's behind Sancho, he's behind Greenwood, he's behind Bruno, he's behind Pogba, he's behind Cavani, he's behind Ronaldo. He's always going to be a bit part player, but he's obviously been told something to stay, unless he's running his contract down. In which case, the thing about Lingard, his career has been a bit like that. After that West Ham loan, it was going up. He was in the England squad. He was winning Player of the Month in the Premier League. His career was going up, and it's dropped, and that's a real big shame. Let me just say as well, one thing we must talk about before we talk about Manchester City. A lot of people have spoken about Sancho should start, Donny should start. Not in a million years. They are not going to start in this game. Sancho and Ollie and Donny won't start. I've got Sancho in that team, but I think it will be this team. And obviously, if it's a back 5, Jadon Sancho won't start. Donny van der Beek's got no chance of starting because where would he start? It will be McTominay and Fred in the midfield. I mean, he rested Fred for this game. Bruno will definitely start, and Donny can't play up front or as a wing back. So Donny van der Beek is not starting in this game. Jadon Sancho will not start in this game unless we play a back 4, and I think he'll play a back 5. Eric Bailly should start the game one way or another, but, Jadon Sancho and Donny van der Beek, they come off the bench, they make a difference, and then they go straight back to the bench. And you know what? Fred's been shit this season. McTominay's not been much better. Rashford's not been great. And yet those players will probably start this game. And that's the problem. Ollie's favouritism is destroying careers. It's like, I'm sure he's nice to Jadon, and I'm sure he's nice to Jesse, and I'm sure he's nice to Donny, but he's not giving people a chance because of his favouritism. He contradicts himself. Like, what did he say last week? These lads who are sat on the bench, they've got to wait for their chance, and when they get the chance, they've got to take it. He gave them 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you're lucky if you get a touch on the ball. 5 minutes for Donny and Jadon Sancho. They actually made a big, big difference, and yet, so they take their chance when it's given, back to the bench. It's just bullshit. It really is. They should be given a chance, but they're not. The problem is, where do they get a chance? Like, where's Donny really going to get a chance? Because Ollie thinks Donny's Bruno. That's what he thinks. He just thinks Donny's a number 10 and that's it. And it was Bruno who came off for Donny, wasn't it? So he's just not going to start. Donny's never going to get a chance. He deserves a chance. He's deserved a chance for a very long time. He's not going to start in this game. And the interesting thing is, as we move to City, it brings back the question to why Ollie kept all these players to cover for injuries but then doesn't utilise them. Kevin, you've made a brilliant point there. Yeah, Ollie kept all these players. He kept way too many players. Way too many players. And he did it with Brandon Williams last January. Brandon Williams was going to go on loan last January and Ollie wouldn't let him go in case he got an injury but then never used him. And if you think about it, look at Harry Maguire. He trains one day and he goes into the team against Leicester, and Eric Bailly's fully fit. So you've got this big squad, but he will play, like McTominay came back early, Varane comes back early, Maguire comes back early. He rushes people back to play them, even though he's got a squad that could replace them. And that's why, that is why Kevin's made a great point there. That is why Jadon Sancho, Jesse Lingard, Donny van der Beek and a few others are no longer internationals. Because Ollie doesn't rotate his squad. He doesn't give them a chance. He will always play a player that's injured or out of form as long as they're in the favourites gang. And if you're not in the favourites gang and you're on the outside, you're screwed. I think it should be Shaw in a back three, Tellez left wing backs as Pratic. He could do that. But look, let's talk about the game, Manchester City against Manchester United. However we're going to line up, just a few interesting stats about Manchester City. And the thing about Man City is, I think this game is really, really interesting because some blame has to go to Jesse. He's been a bit gullible, says Sakim. Yeah, look, I actually really like Jesse Lingard. I think, would I sell him? Yes, but you can still like a player. I thought he was ridiculously naive staying at the club thinking he has got a chance. I think Dean Henderson's got more chance of dislodging De Gea than Lingard's got of being a first teamer for United, and the people around Jesse should have been telling him that, because I think there can be no part of Jesse that's happy at the moment with what's happened. He was an England regular and now he's not, and somebody around him should have said, I know you believe in yourself and I know you want to be a United player, but look at the last 2 years. Before you went on loan to West Ham, he wasn't picking you. Look at what's happened with Donny. If you're not in the favourites gang, you're screwed. And he's allowed himself to fall into the trap. And it's a shame because I think Lingard would be a fantastic player for a West Ham or an Everton. But now he's, stuck in that place. I think Cavani will start ahead of Rashford. Do you think that this really is Ollie's last chance, or will the board still be blinded by their own egos, says Simon? I don't think it's Ollie's last chance. I mean, obviously, I don't think he should be there anyway. But I don't think if he loses, they'll sack him. I think the club is incompetent. And I think that, they're lowering the standards to depths of despair. But I don't think he will play Cavani, because if I just go back to this screen here, if he takes Rashford out and puts Cavani up the top, which I should be able to do actually. Let me just take Rashford out. So you put Rashford out, you put Cavani up front with Ronaldo. Sorry, we've got two number 7s. The problem with that is it's ridiculously defensive, and Manchester City are going to have the ball around here a lot. When we get that ball, what's the out ball? Ronaldo's fast, but he's not particularly fast, and Cavani's not very fast, and Bruno's not very fast. It'll be like last week against Spurs. But against Spurs, we pressed them high up the pitch and we won the ball back a lot. We're not going to be able to press Man City. They will play through the press in a blindfold because they can actually pass. Spurs can't. So if we played Cavani and Ronaldo behind with Bruno behind, where's the out ball? Where's the ball to release the tension on the back 7? So I don't think he will go Cavani and Ronaldo. Well, he might do, but I think tactically, look, any other game I'd play Cavani and Ronaldo, because I think, if you're playing Crystal Palace at home or Norwich away, I'd play Cavani and Ronaldo. But in this game, in this specific scenario, I think you've got to have pace, because it will just push City back a little bit. They'll be a little bit more wary of that ball on the break. If you play Cavani and Ronaldo, they've got defenders that are quicker than them and they won't be worried about it. Anyway, let's talk about Manchester City. So currently, as we know, Man City have got 20 points. If we were to beat them, we'd be on the same points, which is ridiculous, isn't it? If we lose, we're 6 points behind, which is ridiculous as well. But Manchester City's away record, let's just have a look at that compared to our home record. So Manchester City are currently 4th in the away league table with 10 points. United are 9th. Our home record's not great. We're 9th in the league for our home record. And Man City, their away record, they're 4th. So it's 4th against 9th on away and home form. They've scored 8 goals, though. Man City are not scoring that many goals away from home, considering they scored, was it 3 against Brighton the other day? But we're 5th for goals scored at home. We've got 10 goals at home. Goals conceded across the whole season, Manchester City have conceded 6 goals in 10 games. They're 2nd in the league for that. Chelsea are top. They've only conceded 3. So what I see with Manchester City is what I saw last season. Defensively very good, but not scoring hatfuls of goals. And this is sort of the new Manchester City. We saw it last season. I think maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, Man City, you'd think, always vulnerable at the back, but they'll score lots of goals. I think Man City over the last 18 months have become a team that's ridiculously good at scoring goals, but they're defensively well set up as well. And what you see with Man City is that when somebody's attacking them, they almost drop into a back six themselves. Gundogan, Rodri, they get behind the ball. Foden or whoever, Bernardo Silva, whoever's on the flanks, they get behind the ball, and they really are a very good defensive unit. But obviously when they're on the attack, you'll see Gundogan getting in the box. The energy from their midfield too is fantastic. Rodri will sit and conduct things, but Gundogan will break into the box. His energy levels are ridiculous, but then he'll be back in his own box defending. How Man City are going to line up in this game, I don't know. But defensively, they are good. But I don't look. Anything can happen in a derby. We could get beat 5-0. So I'm not going to provide people with the clip that I don't think Man City can score more than 2 goals. But I think if it goes to plan and it goes to plan for United, I think we win this game 1-0. If it goes to plan for City, I think they win the game 2-0. I think they're the most likely scores if they win or we win. Obviously, anything around that can happen, but Man City don't concede many goals, but they don't score a hatful of goals away from home either. So I can see it's going to be defence against attack. It's going to be tight. It could come down to penalties, handballs, maybe a red card. But Man City are a very disciplined team, and what we need to do is pick up the yellow cards. Not for ourselves, Rodri, Kyle Walker, people like that. If they're late in the tackle, make sure they're getting a yellow card for it, and that could be big for us. When you buy players of the technical qualities of Sancho and Donny, why is that Ollie and the coaching staff don't see it? They stick with the favourites, says Sebastian. I don't know why they were bought, Sebastian Official, to be honest with you. What do you think about Matic playing, says David? I think the problem with Matic is, if you've watched Man City, and I was watching them last night, I don't know how Man City are going to line up in this game. Do you? I mean, Ruben Diaz didn't play last night. He will come into the team. I presume it will be Stones next to him. Left back, well, Cancelo was brilliant last night. I presume he will play, but it might be Zinchenko. Kyle Walker, will he play, or will he move Cancelo to right back? I think they might want to use Kyle Walker because of his recovery pace. So midfield, I would imagine, will be Rodri, Gundogan and De Bruyne. And the front three is really interesting, because the front three I wouldn't like to see is Mahrez off the right, Sterling off the left and Jesus. The one I'd like to see is Grealish off the left, because I think Wan-Bissaka will deal with Grealish. Again, it's going to get clipped, but I'd rather Grealish than Sterling. Off the right, I hope they play Bernardo Silva and not Mahrez. And I hope they play with a false 9 and they don't pick Jesus, because the front three that I don't want to see is Jesus, Sterling and Mahrez. That's the one that worries me the most. So we'll see. But he might not play that. He might play a false 9. He might play Foden, Grealish and Bernardo Silva. You just don't know what he's going to do. Which makes a back 5. I mean, Pep, I'm not going to say I love Pep, but what did he say after the game? They're playing Wednesday night and then they're playing Saturday lunchtime, which is a bit of a quick turnaround. And he says, if they want us to play tomorrow, we'll play tomorrow. If we want us to play on Saturday lunchtime, we'll play on Saturday lunchtime. But I think Pep Guardiola will be analysing this to death, this game and how he wants to play. That doesn't mean he's going to win, but Pep Guardiola is the sort of coach that will spend an hour talking about how to defend a corner, whereas United will just say stand in that position. And that doesn't mean we won't win the game. That doesn't mean City will win the game. But he will have looked at United. He will have looked at how the Liverpool game. He will be looking at the Atalanta. He will look at the Spurs game. And he will have a plan as what he's going to do. And the interesting thing is, if we do play with a back 5 and they play with a false 9, that's going to be really interesting. Because one of the things I admire about Pep Guardiola is the way that, if you're Sam Allardyce or you're Tony Pulis or you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the way you set your players up is quite basic. Get back into these positions when you've got the ball, move it quickly and hit them on the break. It's quite simple, isn't it? If you're Pep Guardiola and you're playing with a false 9, it's not just a false 9. A false 9 is no number 9. So where's your number 9 going? Where's your false 9 going? Well, he's not always just dropping off 10 metres, because that's still a number 9. He's interchanging with the wide players. He's interchanging with De Bruyne. He's interchanging with Gundogan. Gundogan's dropping in the number 9 position. Grealish is coming across. It's so methodical and it's implemented in such minute detail. It's high-end coaching, and that's what Pep Guardiola brings you. And I think he'll have looked at this United game and he'll be like, what we need to do is just, if Maguire and Bailly and Lindelof are the back 3, let them be a back 3. We don't need to go near them. We'll just absolutely annihilate them in the midfield, and we'll move up the pitch, and then they'll have to engage, and when they engage, we'll move beyond them. It's and that's just Goldbridge talking tactics, which are shit tactics, but you know what I mean. if you're not playing with a number 9 and we're playing with 3 centre-backs, what are our 3 centre-backs going to do? Because I guarantee you, if we're playing a back 5 with McTominay and Fred, Ollie and his coaches will basically be, don't lose your shape, keep close together, McTominay and Fred shield them. But if they're not playing with the number 9, what are Maguire, Lindelof and Bailly doing? Are they going to push a higher line? Are they going to just stay there and invite the pressure? And this is what I mean. We know what Man City are going to do on Saturday. They're going to move around. They're going to move the ball well. They're going to be dropping in and out of position. Are we going to go man-to-man? Are we going to follow them out of position? Or are we just going to stand there and let them have the ball? And it's going to be very interesting because I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is anywhere near good enough. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Pep's a better coach than Ole. They've got a better winning mentality than United. And they're under less pressure than Manchester United are. And they play a better style of football than United do. So they've got everything in their favour. It's exactly the same as Liverpool. What we're hoping for is one of those, brave hearts, sort of against the odds. Crowd will be up for it. Derby day. That's what we're hoping for. If you played this game 10 times on a neutral venue, we would lose probably 7 times. We might draw a couple and win 1. Because it's at Old Trafford and because you've got the fans and because it's a derby, it gives us more of a chance. But I think if you were rolling the dice if you were flipping a coin on this result and heads was United win and tails was Man City win, even at Old Trafford, I'd say City probably win this 6 times out of 4. So, we need it to flip on our side. Hi, Mark. With their Champions League win yesterday, they constantly put low-driven crosses into the box, and we all know Maguire is scared of those. Akil, thank you for the super chat. Bernardo Silva is very dangerous even on the wing, though, Mark. They are just all-round danger, but we have to keep composed. Fred could get run over, says Red Devil TV. I hope Pep does play Sterling. Wan-Bissaka has him in his pocket every game, says Joe. Yeah, I'm glad you did that super chat because I'm not going to say it. 6 times out of 4, 6 times out of 10 is what I meant. But, you make a good point there. One thing I would say about Manchester City is that if we can, the way we win this game is on the break and set pieces. That's the only way we're going to win it unless we produce something unbelievable. Unless there's some system we've never seen before where we high press them and move the ball around them and take them on toe-to-toe, which we're not going to do. So set pieces are important for us. Now remember, Maguire's good in the air, McTominay's tall, Ronaldo's good in the air, even Eric Bailly's good in the air. That's 4 players straight away. I don't think Man City have got 4 good players in the air. Obviously Rodri's big, but the rest of their forwards ain't particularly big. So they're reliant on their centre-backs and Rodri. They've only got 3 who's good in the air. So set pieces are really important for us. But, on the other hand, their front 6, or take away Rodri, their front 5, none of them are good in the air. So you're not going to see whipped crosses into the box with height. This is going to be a game that's on the ground. And this is what worries me. Maguire against small, quick players is a weakness. McTominay against small, quick players, it's a weakness. Lindelof against small, quick players, it's a weakness. So Fred, Eric Bailly, Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they've got to have good games. Luke Shaw has pocketed Mahrez, you're right. Wan-Bissaka has pocketed Sterling, you're right. Fred's quick, he's agile, he's got to go with the runners, and Eric Bailly's quick and he's good at the blocks and everything like that. Maguire and McTominay could be weak points in this game because they don't like they're good for crosses into the box. Man City ain't going to do that. They're not particularly quick and they're very tall. So smaller players with one-touch passing, it's just physics, isn't it? It's not McTominay's fault and Maguire's fault that they're tall. But a lot of Man City players are small. Mahrez dropped Shaw. Mahrez has done quite well against Shaw in the past, to be honest. But look, anything can happen, can't it? Salah. Shaw's done well against Salah. He didn't last time. I'm gonna. As I said before, I'm gonna go for a draw in this game. I just think that Manchester derby. If Ollie loses, I think people are hoping we lose. How can you hope Man United lose a Manchester derby? But people will say, well, look, I wanted us to lose Spurs because I thought he'd get the sack. Nuno lost, got the sack. They got Conte. I want him to lose so he gets the sack. My problem with that is. Who's coming in? I don't think he gets sacked even if he loses. I think he should be sacked now. If he loses to City, of course he should be sacked, but I don't think it will necessarily happen. But for me personally, I want to win. As I said, I think I really celebrated Ronaldo's equaliser because I'm sort of at peace with it. I don't believe in the manager. I certainly don't believe in the owners, but I believe in Manchester United, and I don't see Manchester United as owned by the Glazers or managed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I see Manchester United as the team that I've supported all my life, the team that I was educated in as a kid. it's bigger than this moment in time, and you've got to cling on to that. And I will not allow the Glazers to take away my enjoyment of something I've been doing since I was a kid, which is supporting Manchester United Football Club. So I will always want us to win, and I will enjoy the win on Saturday. Of course, the bigger picture is scary. You know, I don't think we're heading anywhere good with under Ollie, but if we did win on Saturday, we'd have the same points amount as Man City, which, to be honest with you, is a false positive. Because Chelsea are playing Burnley and they will beat them. So even if we beat Man City, we're still going to be 7 or 8 points off the top, which is too many. But people will be going, we beat Man City. But Man City and us will be 7 or 8 points off Chelsea. That's a lot. But I can see a draw. I can see a 1-1 or a 0-0. I can see a draw in this. I can see a poor game where we defend a lot and park the bus. And, you know, as Klopp would say, you know, you come to Old Trafford, you expect in front of 75,000 fans that they're going to have a go. That's not going to happen. This is what we've become as a football club. And, you know, that's in my brain. That's implanted in my brain, definitely. When you come to Old Trafford and you play in front of 75,000 fans and the history that football club's got, you don't expect to be playing against a back five where they park the bus. That is a problem in itself, isn't it? Standards. But we know it's going to happen. We know we're going to park the bus. We know we're going to hit them on the brake because, and that, if this club was run by football people, he'd get sacked for that. How can you have something where Manchester United Football Club is parking the bus at home against Man City and Liverpool and teams like that? And I know we didn't park the bus against Liverpool. That was a stupid idea, but we have to park the bus. It's our only chance. But we're Manchester United. Like, why are we parking the bus? But everybody accepts it because we know it's our only chance. But that's what we've become. A team that has to park the bus at home. People don't even criticise it anymore. I'm not even criticising it because I know it's the only chance we've bloody got. But that is what we've become. A team that's got to park the bus against the noisy neighbours to try and catch them out on the break. And yet we've spent £400 million on this manager. And yet we've got some of the best players in the world, but we're parking the bus. Why are we parking the bus? Because the coaching's not good enough. But I think it's the only way we're going to get something out of this game. And if we do get something out of this game, it will be by frustrating Man City and getting something from a set piece or on the break. And I think that's the way it will be. And that, to me, is why Marcus Rashford has to play. Because it's like FIFA 5 years ago. Pace. We just need that pace. Sancho's been left out of the England squad. What a disgrace, says Oz. Yeah, and Lingard. Spoken about that. You've not mentioned Foden much. Foden's your worth. I mean, Joe, I think Foden's a fantastic player. I just don't know how he fits him in. If he plays with a false nine, I suppose Foden will play. Foden's a fantastic player. And contrast that with Greenwood. I mean, there used to be a conversation about Foden versus Greenwood, and there should still be one. But I don't think Greenwood will start this game. And Greenwood, I think, is going to suffer. And the interesting thing about Greenwood is if you look at his season this year, it's actually been quite good. He's got a few goals, a few assists, and yet he seems to be the fall guy from that Liverpool game. I know he came on against Atalanta quite early, but I don't think Greenwood will start that game. But look, as much as we're thinking we're going to play a back five, we could play the back four. And as much as we know how Man City play, we don't know how City are going to start. We don't know how they're going to line up, do we? So... Anyway, look, yes, Lingard and Sancho's careers ruined as well by Ollie. They're both out the England squad. There's only Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to blame for that. They were in the England squad, now they're not. Van der Beek was in the Dutch squad, now he's not. Telles was in the Brazilian squad, now he's not. Joe Leaning, thank you very much for the super chat there. So look, get in the comments, which way do you think this is going to go? Career mode's going to be on Twitch in about 15 minutes, yes. And... Goldbridge TV on Twitch, or I'll just tweet it out on @MarkGoldbridge. Looking forward to a bit of FIFA. We've got the 8 o'clock show as per usual tonight. And make sure you play Ultimate Fan. Links in the chat. Give it a go. Something over the weekends that, you know, you can play, and £8,500 prize pot to be played for. You must be over 18. Details are in the video description. Give it a go. And I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thank you very much for watching.